Hi Springford, Kelly Murray, Director of Curriculum and Instruction, here with another video for you. Today we're going to read the book Mickey's Alphabet Soup. This is going to be a great activity because it's going to be both a literacy and a math activity. So the first thing I want you to do is get out a piece of paper, and what you're going to do is create a list of each letter of the alphabet. I want you to divide it into two columns. One column is Mickey and Minnie, the other column is Goofy. Throughout this story, you're going to see Mickey and Minnie and Goofy add different things into their alphabet soup, all that start with each letter of the alphabet. So what we're going to do to start with for this activity is keep a tally of the number of items that both Mickey and Minnie, working as a team, put into their alphabet soup, and any ingredients that Goofy puts into his alphabet soup. So if you haven't worked with tallies before, the way it works is that you do a line for each item. So if I were to say that Mickey and Minnie added asparagus, apples, for A, I would have two lines. Say they added beans, broccoli, and bok choy, they would have three. If you were to get to 5, you have 4. The way you represent 5 is you do a line like this. This way you can easily count and see how many you have. So if you were to have 10, it would look like that. So let's go ahead and get into this story. Don't forget to keep tally of all of the ingredients that both Mickey and Minnie put in as a team and Goofy put in as a team. And then after that, I'll tell you the next steps for the rest of the activity. Let's take a look at the story. Mickey's Alphabet Soup. It was the morning of the alphabet soup contest. Mickey and Minnie were just starting to unload groceries from the car when Goofy stopped by. "Howdy, pals," said Goofy. "Looks like you bought me some lunch." "Sorry," said Minnie. "These are ingredients for our secret alphabet soup recipe. It's for the contest." "Gosh, a contest," said Goofy. "Can I enter it?" "Yes," said Mickey. "Just make sure the first ingredient begins with A and the last one begins with Z, with the rest of the alphabet in between. The contest starts in the park at 2:30. "See you there," shouted Goofy as he raced off. After putting the groceries away, Mickey handed Minnie an apron and put one on himself. "Aprons begin with A," he said, "which means we're ready to begin." Minnie filled a large pot with water, while Mickey washed an apple and some asparagus. Meanwhile, Goofy had just begun to look for a soup pot when he remembered that all of his pots were at his aunt's apartment. Instead, he filled an old tub with water and aimed a toy airplane toward it. Then he added an arrow and a toy automobile. "I didn't have breakfast," said Mickey, biting into a banana. Minnie added beets, beans, and berries to the pot on the back burner. Goofy blew up a balloon, but it burst. Then he bounced a basketball and batted a baseball. Both balls landed in the tub, creating lots of bubbles. Mickey cleaned the cauliflower, cabbage, celery, and carrots, while Minnie took a picture with her camera. "This cooking couldn't be more fun," Mickey smiled. Goofy saw a Clarabelle cow peering through the curtains. "If you want to taste the best alphabet soup in town, come to the park at 2:30, he said, dropping a cuckoo clock into the soup. After Clarabelle had left, Goofy added crayons and a castle. Minnie added dill, while Mickey brought up a dozen donuts from downstairs. Then he added 8 eggs. Goofy dragged a drum, a drill, a dancing doll over to the tub. "I think these will be enough," said Goofy, adding egg beaters. Minnie went out to the front fence to buy figs from Farmer Fritz's truck. While she was gone, Mickey added French fries. Goofy fumbled and almost fell into the soup as he added 4 flowers and 5 footballs. "Guess where I got these green peppers," said Mickey. "From Goofy's garden," Minnie giggled. She gathered a bunch of green grapes and gave one to Mickey. "It tastes good," said Mickey, grinning. Goofy gulped down a glass of ginger ale. He grabbed a guitar, a globe, a gray glove, and then he dropped them into the soup. "How about some honey?" said Minnie. "How about a hamburger?" said Mickey. Goofy wiped his head with a handkerchief as he put a hammer and a hook into the soup. Mickey stirred a kumquat into the soup while Minnie gave her kitten a kiss. Goofy added a key and a kite. Minnie pushed aside a ladder to reach the lettuce while Mickey stirred the soup with a ladle. Goofy licked a lollipop as he lowered a load of laundry into the soup. "Mind if I add milk, Mickey?" said Minnie, reaching for a measuring cup. There was no answer. Mickey had marched over to the nearby market to buy some meat and macaroni. Goofy put on matching mittens and mixed mud, marbles, and marigolds in the blender. "There's nothing like nutmeg," said Minnie. Next to her, Mickey sprinkled in some nuts. "Newspapers might be nifty," said Goofy, dropping them into the soup. He picked up 9 nickels and tossed them in too. "Oh my," said Minnie. "It's 1 o'clock. We only have 1 hour and a half left." She quickly added olive oil and an onion to the soup while Mickey peeled an orange. Goofy opened the oven and found an oil can and some orchids. Off they went into the pot. He found an old oar to stir the soup. Mickey went out on the porch while Minnie picked up a pitcher and poured some punch. "Perfect," said Minnie, taking a sip. He was getting ready to peel a pound of potatoes. "We also have popcorn," Mickey said, while Pluto fetched some pepper for Minnie. Goofy poured pebbles, pennies, pillows, ping-pong balls, and a purse into the tub. "How about adding a quart of tomato juice and some quail eggs?" said Mickey. "Can't quit now," said Goofy, putting some quarters into the tub. Mickey reached into the refrigerator and pulled out a radish. "Ready for the rice?" asked Minnie. Goofy added roses, a roller skate, and a rake to the tub. He had to use a rope to lower a rickety rocking chair into it as well. Minnie shook the salt shaker over the soup. Next, she tossed in some sunflower seeds. Mickey washed and cut the spinach, squash, and string beans and snow peas and slowly added them to the soup. Goofy put skis and a shovel into the soup as he sang a song. "Taste this," said Minnie, offering Mickey a teaspoon as she tossed in turnips, tomatoes, and toast. Goofy unplugged the telephone and threw it into the soup. Then he added toothbrushes, tools, toy tractors, a teepee, and the television. "What food begins with you?" Minnie asked Mickey. "Well," said Mickey, "my uncle gave me something called an ugly fruit last week. It's like an orange." Goofy tossed an umbrella into his soup. "We've already added lots of vegetables," said Minnie. "How about adding vanilla or vinegar?" asked Mickey. Goofy added a violin, a vase, and a vacuum cleaner. Mickey found some walnuts behind the house. When he went back inside, Minnie weighed them and put them into the pot. She also added a piece of whole wheat bread and a slice of watermelon. Outside his window, Goofy picked up his whistle, along with a wheel and a wind-up whale. "Thank goodness for homemade alphabet cookies," said Mickey. He tossed an X-shaped cookie into the soup. Minnie added yogurt and a yam. Goofy threw in a xylophone into the soup. "Yippee," he yelled as he dropped a ball of yellow yarn and a yo-yo into the tub. "Almost done." "Time for zucchini," said Minnie, tossing it into the pot. "That means we're done," said Mickey. "Alphabet soup contest, here we come." Goofy tossed a zipper into the soup just as his taxi arrived. As they drove past the zoo, he waved to the zebra. Minnie, Mickey, and Goofy were met by an excited crowd when they arrived at the park. By now, everyone in town had heard about the alphabet soup contest. The judges were seated at a picnic table inside the lodge. Then, judges Donald and Daisy began to taste all of the soups. Finally, they got to Mickey and Minnie's soup. Interesting, said Donald, chewing on a piece of popcorn beside the pot. Daisy was about to taste Goofy's soup when, cuckoo, cuckoo, went the cuckoo clock. Daisy's spoon went flying, and the crowd laughed. Finally, the judges got together to choose a winner. Wait, said Goofy, you haven't even tasted my soup. Sorry, said Donald, but footballs and yo-yos and whatever else you mixed in there are not things to eat. A little while later, Daisy announced, I think there are 2 winners here. Everyone grew quiet. Mickey and Minnie, you use the tastiest ingredients, said Daisy. But Goofy, your ingredients are the most fun to play with. Looks as if we're all winners, said Goofy. Yes, said Minnie, and we had fun too. Okay, so for the next part, we're gonna take our tally marks, the data that we collected, and turn it into a bar graph. So we're gonna build a bar chart or a bar graph. The first thing we need to do is label it, alphabet soup, so that we know what we're talking about. And then we're gonna have 2 axes. First, the vertical axis is going to be our quantity, and I always need to make sure I have a label on each of my axes. The bottom is going to be the letters, A, B, C, and so forth. I also have a key in this corner because I'm going to graph both Mickey and Minnie's use of ingredients as well as Goofy's. I'm going to let purple represent Mickey or Minnie, and the black is going to represent Goofy. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a graph based on the data that I collected. Now I don't have the data in front of me, but just say that Mickey and Minnie had 2 ingredients that were the letter A. It would look like that. And next to that, again, let's just say that Goofy had 3 ingredients. It would look like this. So what I'm going to do is chart the amount of ingredients so I can see which one has the most. Now, if you have a younger child, they might not be quite ready to graph this way, but what you can do is have them graph using stickers. So let's just suppose that my marker is a sticker. You can have them put 1 sticker for each number of items, and they can graph it that way. So again, we're just pretending that these are stickers. So you can either adapt this to a younger student or an older student depending on their needs. Thanks for participating in today's lesson. Don't forget, when you complete this lesson, be sure to take pictures or video of you and your family doing this lesson and upload it to news@spring-ford.net. Thanks and have a great day.